OK. So in case, if auditors want to view the live session, it's only for the auditors. You said right. The other one is for the end users, for them to connect. OK. So by default whenever they click on connected. So basically it will still send the PSM connect as the user ID and the password from this particular vault and get a connection. This particular PSM gateway user will fetch the password of that particular account from the vault and PSM connect user will establish the session to the target. OK. So there are again two layers to it, yeah. OK. And here's some app user. So total for you. Just I told you right, we have some app, we have some gateway, PSM Connect and PSM Admin Connect. So we have some app user for internal processing. So here internal processing is nothing but this PSM app user only will fetch the configuration file from the vault to the PSM server. OK. So close this and go back, so we'll see the remaining. OK. No need to touch live system. Universal connectors on many sessions. Only PSM recording. Right. So there is one more safe called PSM recordings, but it will be created once you establish a first session. Then only it will be. OK. So once we onboard the account and activate that privileged session isolation and monitoring in the master policy, then we will see that we are recording safe in the void, but we will not be running the hardening PSM hardening here. Right. Not hardening. No, because we have installed all the three components in a single server. So if you are done by your mother, component will break. They have a CPM hardening also. So they have provided a few power cells which we need to run those scripts for CPM hardening. Also, but in our lab we are not doing any kind of hardening. Right. OK. Close this and log on. Yeah. 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 So this guy is gateway when user is basically the access to the PWA. Get where you will fit to the password. OK. From what? Yeah. OK. And app user is basically helps us take the password from the gateway user, then send the connection. That is PSM Connect. So PSM app user will be used for internal processing. OK. Get that. I think this part is a bit tricky, but that OK. Fair enough, fair enough. Get that. OK. And close this. Lastly, one thing, if we are done, just 2 more minutes. Here. I still don't see my Active Directory here. Why is that? So here. Basically, there are certain 80 groups which I will create. Right. And or maybe say, like there are hundreds of user accounts. They can't be listed directly under system as. And then the login we typically see. We should be able to see our Active Directory structure where it will say users, groups and things like that. Why that mapping? We can't see in the users and groups window. So whenever that Active Directory user logged into the PWA portal, that user ID will be created in this wizard under system directly. If you want to see that directory mapping, click on Close. Now I can go to Tools, Administrative Tools and Directory Mapping. Here we can see Vault. It means Vault address and Vault users. Just click on Update. And below you have a cyber_80 rated director. Just double click on that. So here you can see the group names, Cyber Vault Admins and directory name, Cyber AD branch. All those things. The reason why I asked is in my production environment, I am able to see those mapping might be. Those are other 80 groups, other security groups, not this vault, admins or end users. So, while doing that LDAP integration, if you provide those 3 group namings, those will not be available in the users and groups wizard. But later if you add other groups like external auditors or some other external users groups from AD, then those will be available in the visible in the users and groups. Then I got that, but in our case these are the only 3 accounts, admin, auditor and the users. So that's the bind user. You are able to see in the users and groups wizard. Yeah, but for the rest of the things, suppose if it's my name then typically if I had to unlock, maybe say some user's name. I just go to users and groups. Then when I search a tree structure which is apart from this system, there is one more plus. Maybe say cyber itself. I plus that there is a user name folder to it, group to it. So I expand that there. I will be able to see the user name might be. So they have configured some other in the directory mappings. So they have created some additional structure here and they have mapped that to that group in the directory. So it's like a customizes in the directory. We can modify our directory. If I had to do it here, I can just still do user or maybe a group kind of thing. But this will create local group itself. Right. I tried to do that from the production to my UAD with the directory. But it was too tricky. There are multiple moving parts to it. To pick up everything in a copy-paste. So here, just verify how many directory mappings here, how many groups you are seeing in the production and how many there in. There are plenty. There are plenty. I'm sure I don't think they had done manually, but I like to check with my vendor how they have done that. Anyways. Okay,